Hello, everybody, and a pleasant good afternoon, evening, or wherever you may be all around the world. I'm Ben Charles, and this is another edition of Rasslin and Logic Extra. I'm going to review Monday Night RAW first. I am not doing Dynamite first. I'm going to let you all know AEW Dynamite will be the last thing I will talk about. We haven't been reviewing SmackDown as of late. I've noticed that. But yes, we will review Raw and Dynamite all within this same exact episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, get something you like to drink, because on this edition of Rasslin and Logic Extra, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw from October 7th, 2022, and Dynamite, which happened in Boston on October 9th, 2022. Alright, everybody, Monday Night Raw from November 7th, 2022. We were live from... Where the hell were we tonight? Hold on, everybody. Where the hell were we on Monday Night Raw? Oh my God. Yes, by the way, we're gonna give a cold open to Raw. Raw, another 3-hour show. Why? I don't know. Don't ask. And pretty much, we're setting up War Games for Survivor Series, which approximately is in about 2 weeks. So, yeah. Anyway, the Bloodline came out. I don't care where the hell we were for Monday Night Raw. I don't care. This Raw was 3 hours fucking too long. Raw needs to be 2 hours. Please. Ridiculous. The Bloodline came out. And then the Usos and Solo Sikoa cut a promo. They said they warned the New Day about them facing off on Friday, and they beat the Brawling Brutes at Crown Jewel, which we will review on Friday. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, who are on SmackDown, they're on Raw. They will win this Friday, they said, but the Usos called them the second best tag team in WWE, which is a load of bullshit, but I digress. The two teams are arguing. Riddle came out with his fucking bongos. What the fuck was Matt Riddle doing with fucking drums? Not that I hate Matt Riddle, but first of all, why did Riddle come out with the Donkey Kong drums? What is going on here? This is a 3-hour edition of Monday Night Raw, and our opening segment is Matt Riddle coming out with Donkey Kong drums. What the hell is going on? Triple H, what are you smoking backstage? Jesus Christ. But fortunately, we actually had the best match on this entire show. It was Riddle and the New Day versus the Bloodline. These guys went absolutely all out. This match went approximately 16, 17 minutes. This was a good match. A lot of shit happened on this match. All you need to know for this match is that Kofi tried to hit the boom drop on Solo before the Trouble in Paradise was blocked and countered with a body slam. Sikoa sent Kofi Kingston outside and into the announce desk. Kofi then came back with a tornado DDT, tagged the Riddle, hit the Usos with some kicks, and sent Solo off the apron. Riddle got the powerbomb and the final flash knee strike on Jey Uso before trying for the 450, but he missed. Woods tried to take out Solo Sikoa, but got sent over the announce desk. Riddle with the draping DDT, he hit the jumping cutter, but Solo Sikoa came in at the last moment with the tag, spinning Solo, the spinning Uranagi that he does, and Solo Sikoa gets the win on Matt Riddle. So, thank God, Solo Sikoa is finally getting pushed. Thank you. Triple H, you're doing something right. Unfortunately, the rest of the show was hit or miss. Oh, by the way, I know where we were tonight. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You fucking people in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, you guys are y'all were the fucking worst crowd in the history of Monday Night Raw. Jesus Christ, y'all suck tonight. Terrible crowd tonight. Anyway, the Bloodline versus Riddle and the New Day. I'll give Rasslin a 7. I'll give Logic a 4 because the New Day just lost on live TV. They should have not been on this show at all. Matt Riddle and got pinned, by the way, so that's another down. Solo Sikoa got a win before the goddamn Usos. So, yeah. The Usos should have faced somebody else. But, they're feuding, so I guess. Whatever. Our next match, Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander is still employed. Baron Corbin is still employed. JBL came out. JBL, get the fuck off TV. Baron Corbin, get the fuck off TV. JBL just called Baron Corbin a modern-day wrestling god. Are you fucking kidding me? Baron Corbin, a modern-day wrestling god. Get the fuck out of here with that fucking garbage. Cedric Alexander lost in fucking 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Unfucking believable. The modern day wrestling god is getting a fucking push. And he's beating Cedric Alexander on Monday Night Raw. Get this shit off TV. Expeditiously. No rating. Seth Rollins out. Cut a promo. He put an open challenge out that was answered by Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. Balor said that he was going to cost Rollins the belt before AJ Styles and the OC came out. We know where the fuck this is leading to. Where the fuck is Teddy Long? Where is an 8-man tag team match tonight? Triple H, what are you doing backstage? Jesus Christ. This is a fucking Teddy Long-like segment tonight. Why? Rollins quietly fled the ring with his belt. OC and the Judgment Day crowded the ring. AJ said it was always 3-on-4, but they were about to even things out. Mia Yim showed up. Yes, Mia Yim, who is employed. And Mia Yim got zero reaction when she came out tonight. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, what the fuck are y'all doing at a wrestling show? Y'all were the second worst crowd in Monday Night Raw. I thought Houston, when Raw was in Houston, I thought the Houston crowd was terrible. Oh no, you people were fucking awful tonight. Jesus Christ, that was terrible. Mia Yim attacked Rhea Ripley with a kendo stick. Finally, Rhea Ripley gets her fucking comeuppance. Unfortunately, the rest of this show was fucking rough to watch. This show needs to be 2 hours, please. Anyway, all you need to know is that Finn Balor tried to flee a ring, taken down by Machine Gun Carl Anderson. AJ hit the Styles Clash on Dominic Mysterio, and Judgment Day retreated. All you need to know, Seth Rollins said his open challenge is still up for grabs. Jesus Christ. Otis versus Elias Sampson. Elias Sampson is still employed. Otis Dozovich is still employed. This match went 3 minutes. No rating. Otis won. No one cared. Back to back, no ratings. I don't care. This match went fucking under 3 minutes. Relatively 3 minutes. If not 4 minutes. No rating. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I understand Monday Night Raw. Yes, Monday Night Raw was in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. As I said it for the 4th time tonight. Give me a break. Anyway, all you need to know is that Otis hit the Power Slam and picked up the easy win. And my laptop is starting to fuck up, just like Monday Night Raw was fucked up tonight. I don't know what the fuck were y'all smoking backstage. Cedric Alexander got fucking buried alive. Worse. Actually, no, he got brought back to TV and then got reburied back into the ground. And Elias Sampson just lost to Otis in 3 minutes tonight. Back to back, no ratings. I don't know what the fuck are y'all doing with Elias or Otis, but whatever the fuck y'all are doing, can we please get Alpha Academy, and can we please take Alpha Academy serious? I don't know what the fuck are y'all doing backstage. Road Dogg, Shawn Michaels, I don't know what y'all doing backstage. Why the fuck is Elias and Otis in a match? Elias Sampson got squashed like a bug. Elias won a match literally last week. Last week on Raw, he won a match. Byron Saxton, who is still employed, backstage, Judgment Day promo. Rhea Ripley said that the OC, just created more problems for themselves. Yes, the OG club. The OC, yes. Anyway, Rhea Ripley ran into someone backstage. I understand. I don't know what the hell. I don't know Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. Rhea Ripley ran into Mia Yim backstage again. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss were out. This was actually the best segment on this entire show. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss came out. Promo. Damage Control out. Two teams started arguing and yelling at each other. Before this, Asuka and Io Sky actually spoke Japanese, and they actually put fucking subtitles underneath what they were saying. Thank you, Triple H. That was the best thing you've done all fucking night. Unfortunately, the rest of this segment, down the drain. Nikki Cross attacked every single last one of them. So I'm serious. Damage Control and Bianca Belair's team got fucking destroyed, and then Nikki Cross attacked all three of them from behind, and Nikki Cross took down everyone. So Damage Control and Bianca Belair's team, they are working towards War Games, and we got 2 weeks to fix it. I like Nikki Cross in Damage Control, but so far, I'm not really interested all too much anyway. Not that I hate the match, but War Games, like, we have 2 War Games matches, like, on the same show. Like, we're doing this pretty much like Vince used to do Hell in a Cell. 2 Hell in a Cell matches almost every fucking show. Why? We do not need 2 War Games matches. No, we don't. Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, who has been in catering for the last year and a half. This man is on TV. That's where the fuck he has been, catering. Shelton Benjamin and Austin Theory actually had a decent match. This match went 5 minutes. All you need to know, Austin Theory won with the A-Town down, got the 1-2-3 on Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin needs to be on TV more. Please. I'm sick and tired of Shelton Benjamin not being used in the way that he should be used, as a mentor. He's a legend in this business. I'll give Rasslin for this match, I'll give it a 4. And Logic, I'll give it a 5. Austin Theory deserved to win, but not against Shelton Benjamin. Jesus Christ. Anyway, as I said earlier on, Otis versus Elias, no rating. Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander, 0-0. Because they were glorified squash matches. That's what the fuck they were. The Miz was out next. The Miz, get off my fucking TV. Johnny Gargano's story from last week was false, he says. And Miz was making a big documentary to tell his side story. Miz, I got a documentary of my own. Would you like to know the name of the fucking documentary? I'll give you 5 seconds to figure out what the documentary is all about. You want to know what it's all about? It's about The Miz. It's about The Miz, right? The Miz was good in 2016, right? And ever since then, this man has still been employed since 2006. So, for about 14 and a half years, The Miz has been get the fuck off my television material. That's the whole documentary about The Miz. Get off TV. Ridiculous. And by the way, last week, Johnny Gargano told the host, last week or 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, Johnny Gargano said that Dexter Lumis was being paid by The Miz to cause attention backstage. So let me get this straight. So Dexter Lumis, who has been harassing The Miz for weeks and weeks, all of a sudden, we come to this explanation that Dexter Lumis was paid off by The Miz to cause attention? Attention? First of all, that's not the real reason. Number 2, Dexter Lumis is not that kind of guy who is a fucking hitman who should be paid off for any fucking reason at all. He has been trying to destroy The Miz for fucking months. Months! Why the fuck was this a reason? Explanation. Triple H, come on, bro. Johnny Gargano came out and he said the Hollywood producer who Miz had dinner with was a private investigator and recorded him with a hidden camera. We saw footage of The Miz declaring that everything Gargano said was true. He admitted to paying Dexter Lumis and confessed it was all a publicity stunt. One of the worst fucking reasons I've ever heard. Dexter Lumis got paid by The Miz because it was a publicity stunt. I have a stunt for you, Miz. Why don't you take your fucking skinny, scrawny ass, get the fuck off my television, and go hop in a fucking box somewhere to fucking Kenya somewhere? Fuck you. This show sucked. Johnny Gargano versus The Miz. This match went 8 minutes. The Miz won with a weapon in the ring. Johnny Gargano lost. Johnny Gargano lost because of The Miz. Why? Why? Fucking why? God, who's booking this shit? John Laurinaitis? Jesus fucking Christ. And by the way, 10 years ago, John Laurinaitis was in a Raw main event. I'm not making this up. This man was in a main event on Monday Night Raw. It was John Cena versus John Laurinaitis and David Otunga in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Who books this shit? Who writes this show? What a miserable show. Jesus Christ. Terrible. Dexter Lumis came out and took The Miz down with a steel chair before being chased off by officials. And then Dexter Lumis put The Miz to sleep. Are you fucking kidding me? So Dexter Lumis and The Miz are still feuding. We still haven't got... So we got the shittiest explanation of all time. And Dexter Lumis being misused already. We're not even 2 months into his debut. Can we fucking please get Dexter Lumis away from The Miz? Please. Please. Dear God. Damage Control was hyping Nikki Cross for her match tonight. And Cross did an evil laugh for her heading out. Nikki Cross versus Dana Brooke for the 24/7 championship. No rating. This match sucked. This show fucking sucked. No rating. Nikki Cross won the 24/7 championship, and then she threw it in the trash, and then she missed the fucking goddamn trash can, which they did not show, by the way. They botched that damn thing. Nikki Cross threw the 24/7 title in the trash, and she missed by half a mile. No rating. Man, and by the way, this was the semi-main event of this show. Dana Brooke and Nikki Cross was in the semi-main fucking event. This show sucks. Seth Rollins out for his main event match. He says it's been 10 years since he joined the WWE. Mustafa Ali showed up on the big screen. He was about to accept the challenge, but Bobby Lashley beat the fucking piss out of him to take his place. Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. This was actually... wait a minute. This actually was not a match. Lashley sent Rollins outside before the bell even rung and sent him into the barricades over and over again, tossed him back into the ring. Rollins counted a spear with a super kick before sending Lashley into the steel steps on the outside. Rollins tried for a pedigree on the floor, but Lashley beat the fucking piss out of him. Fisher came out to stop the brawl, but Lashley put Rollins through the announce desk before walking off. So, Bobby Lashley beat the fucking piss out of Seth Rollins. Good. Bobby Lashley needs to be healed. ASAP. Expeditiously. Please. Austin, and then here comes this fucking goon. Austin Theory cashes in his Money in the Bank contract on the United States fucking champion. Jesus. God almighty. Theory tried the A-Town down, but Rollins kicked out. Then Rollins tried with a pedigree, but Theory reversed it. Another near fall. Rollins hit Theory outside before getting the powerbomb and the super kick before Theory got the A-Town down. Again, Bobby Lashley came back and took out the referee. By the way, Lashley then beat the shit out of Austin Theory, then beat the shit out of fucking He beat the shit out of Rollins, and then he beat the fucking piss out of Austin Theory. Austin Theory was in the hurt lock for Bobby Lashley. Theory was knocked out, but the referee recovered and nearly counted him out. Rollins just when Theory slides into the ring, curve stop by Seth Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins won. First of all, this wasn't even like. First of all, I don't even think this was even much of a match. I don't know. Look, Theory and Rollins had a. I don't even call this a match necessarily. Like, how can you call this a match? This is not a full-time match. I mean, they went damn near 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. I can't even call this a match. I'll give Logic a 1 because Seth Rollins deserved to win that match, and Austin Theory looks like a fucking goon, a dumbass. And then I'll give Rasslin. I'll probably give it a 4, maybe a 5. Maybe I'll give it a 4. And that was Monday Night Raw. Miserable show from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You people in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania should never get another WWE event ever again. You people over there was fucking terrible on Monday Night Raw. On Monday Night Raw on Monday. Terrible. Miserable crap. All right, we're going to recap Raw very quickly. I'm pissed off because this show was fucking awful, and it was 3 hours, and it was way too long. Way too long. The Bloodline versus the New Day and Matt Riddle. I gave that match a 7, and I gave Logic a... Did I give that a 5? I'll give it a 5. I'm going to change my rating. I'll give it a 5. Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander, who is still fucking employed. 0 rating. Otis versus Elias Sampson, who got buried in fucking 4 minutes tonight. 0 rating. Dana Brooke and Nikki Cross was in the semi-main event of this show. 0 rating. The match went 3 minutes. Main event was essentially Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory. They had a decent little showing for the time that they were given. But then it was Bobby Lashley who beat the shit out of Seth Rollins and Austin Theory a little bit. And then Bobby Lashley cost Theory the U.S. title. Okay. I'm all for it. But Jesus Christ, you know. What else was on this show tonight? Oh, Miz and Gargano. I gave Rasslin for that match. Did I give that a 5? No, I actually gave it a 4. I'll change my rating. I'll give it a 4.5, Rasslin. And Logic, I'll give it a 1 because, first of all, The Miz should have not won this match. Number 2, Johnny Gargano looked fucking retarded when he lost this match. And Johnny Gargano should not be losing from here on out. Not to the fucking Miz, not to anybody. Johnny Gargano needs wins expeditiously. Please. Other than that, miserable Monday Night Raw. Terrible. We'll be on to Dynamite in just a little bit. Alright, everybody. We're going to now talk about AEW Dynamite, which this week's show was actually not as offensive as this show. This was actually a way better show than last week's piece of shit show. I still don't know why Baltimore, Maryland should have paid $50 for that fucking awful show. I don't know. All right. We were live in Boston, Massachusetts, Agnes Arena. This was actually a way better show than last week by leaps and bounds. All right, we immediately kick off the show for AEW Dynamite. FTR and the Acclaim versus the Gun Club, who is on fucking TV and was the opening match of this fucking show. Why the fuck is the Gun Club still employed? Gun Club and Swerve in Our Glory versus FTR and the Acclaimed. We have 4 tag teams fighting in the same match. Alright. This was actually a good match for a change. Thank you. Tony Khan actually listened to all the fans. Alright. So, all you need to know really for this match was a good match. All you need to know. It was a good match. I didn't really have a problem with this at all. A lot of shit happened in this match. Cash eats an elbow from Austin Gunn to start. Swerve gets tagged in. He corners Cash Wheeler. Uppercuts from Swerve. Charge for suplex. Cash Wheeler lands on his feet. Total World Backbreaker. Max Cassidy, who snaps Swerve down, drop kicks him in the back of the head. Swerve head scissors, then tags in Keith Lee. Keith Lee walks in very slowly. Max caster flex on him. He attacks the body, meet with a body slam. Max falls over, chop, and a kick to Lee. In come the Gun Club. Max drops both of them. Swerve's in, back body drop. In comes FTR and Bowens, and all four men corner their own dude and beat in the corner. Beat down in the corner over and over and over again. Lee lifts Max and sends him away. Dax Harwood and Cash Willie hit Keith Lee, and they claim get wet into Lee by FTR. And they do and they all have the whole, oh my fucking god. Why? They do the, God, I don't want to say this. Why did they do this on Dynamite? Moving on. Swerve tags in Colton Gunn, who tries to pretend a tag from Dax Harwood, but he hits a back suplex. Tag to Colton and tag to Anthony Bowens and a tag to Swerve. Anthony Bowens goes fucking insane. He's everywhere. Leg drop to the back of the head off the top rope. Cover for a 2 count. Morrissey pulls everyone off. All 8 men get in the ring, face off again. They fight again in the middle of the ring. Acclaim has Swerve in the corner. Lee grabs Bowens for a powerbomb, swings him onto Bowens, then powerbombs him onto Max. High-low from Swerve and Keith Lee. Lee locks Swerve's hands, help him up the top rope, and Swerve dives and flips onto everyone on the outside. Dax sweeps the legs of Keith Lee and then give Austin Gunn a right hand. They're on the top rope and a superplex to all the guys on the outside of the ring, which was a very cool visual. In the ring, Dax Harwood has a sharpshooter on Austin Gunn. Colton Gunn punches Dax in the face. Kick to Dax Harwood, hits the ropes. Dax sends him into Bowens, who drops him with the arrival, which I believe is a some kind of back body drop in a way, or a front slam, or whatever it was. Mic drop from Max Caster, Big Rick from FTR, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. Yep, Colton Gunn got pinned. This was a good match. I'll give this match Rasslin. I'll give it a 7. I'll give Rasslin 7. Logic, I'll give it a 6. I mean, I don't know the reason for this match necessarily, but the Gun Club and Swerve in Our Glory just lost within the same time frame. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I'll give Rasslin 7 and Logic a 6. MJF video package. He was on a podcast. It was called Pardon My Take. MJF was on the podcast. He was informed by doctors that he shouldn't travel if he wanted to be 100%. He calls Full Gear the most important match of his career, but also in classic Tony Schiavone fashion. I don't know why MJF quoted Tony Schiavone. He says this is the most important match in the history of our sport. Jesus fucking Christ. He sounds like Tony Schiavone on Monday Night RAW every fucking week from 1996 to 2001. Jesus fucking Christ. This could potentially be a potential crowning of the next generation. He mentions Ric Flair, The Rock, Hogan, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. All these men were generational talents, and that's what MJF is. So here's what is going to happen. MJF says he's going to have a long title reign, and all that's in his way is Jon Moxley. He doesn't like Jon Moxley. He's a piece of shit. He has no class, but he does respect Jon Moxley. Jon was not born to be a champion, and MJF respects him because Jon had to work his ass off to get to where he was, wrestling for $15 for 15 people over and over until eventually he became the best. Knowing this, Moxley is about to lose that handle because MJF was born to be the professional wrestler. MJF, if you are the professional wrestler, why don't you fucking join the Blackpool Combat Club and try to swerve us all? Or maybe this is where it's fucking leading. I don't fucking know. If you're always going to call yourself a wrestler, meanwhile, the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society are still fucking feuding. Get them off TV. Just stop the feud, please. Just have them be separate from everything else. Anyway, everyone is aware that his throne is for the taking. And MJF is going to take it. He's sick of waiting his turn. He needs to have the spotlight stolen in his big moments. His first pay-per-view, which was Full Gear 2019, a neck tattoo took the spotlight. No. Wait, hold on. Oh, Fight for the Fall in 2019, not Full Gear. He did face Cody. No, Jericho faced Cody at Full Gear in 2019. Okay, let me clear this up. Jericho and Cody fought at Full Gear in 2019. All right, Fight for the Fallen. The neck tattoo was shown. How about when Matt Hardy took a fall like Humpty Dumpty, or Jericho getting the spotlight after falling off the cage and his big return? His spotlight was on a press conference. MJF is grabbing the spotlight and John will have to take it out of his cold dead hand. Regal bet on the wrong horse. He doesn't need his ring. Come Full Gear, the devil gets his due. MJF had one of the best segments on this entire show by leaps and bounds. Video package after the break for Stokely Hathaway. He said he thought his best friend MJF was just like him. Instead of being by his side, he is dick riding Jon Moxley. He doesn't need MJF, so he will see MJF in hell. The Firm and MJF are feuding. Why? Because MJF's an idiot. Ethan Page versus Eddie Kingston, AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament for Full Gear. The winner faces, the winner of the tournament gets a future shot at Jon Moxley and the AEW World Championship. Okay, Ethan Page was finally on fucking TV. Thank you. All right. We get a history lesson of these two by commentary. Eddie Kingston and Ethan Page go way back towards their days in Chikara and Impact as well. Side headlock from Eddie Kingston. Ethan hit the ropes, but Eddie holds on. Eddie sent outside and Page flies off the apron with a shoulder tackle. Page gets Eddie back into the ring, elbow to the top of the head. A right hand. Irish whip to Eddie, reverse knee, and a knee right to Ethan Page. Double underhook, suplex, 2 count. Both men on the outside. Page grabs the head, and a suplex to Eddie on the outside by Ethan Page. We come back from picture-in-picture. Kingston hits a suplex in the ring, 2 count. Both men on their knees, right hand back and forth. Forearms, Eddie with right to the head. Kingston gets the better of the exchange, both men up. Page with a right hand from Page with a right from Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston actually hurts his hand. Page with some right hands, but Eddie chops him away. And then a DDT, 2 count. Eddie captures legs for an exploder, but Page elbows out of it, elbows right to the jaw. Kingston holds onto the wrist, pulls Page's in, now the exploder. Kingston with the stretch plum thing he beat Sammy Guevara with. Page is tapping out, but Stokely Hathaway is on the apron distracting the referee. Who was the fucking referee for this goddamn match? Who was the referee for this match? If it was Rick Knox or fucking Paul Turner, or Bryce Remsburg, one of you 2-3 fucking referees, get the fuck off my television. You fucking referees are fucking retarded. Jesus God Almighty. Y'all are terrible on this show. All you need to know, Ethan Page wins with the ego's edge for the win. Ethan Page advances in the tournament. He will face the winner of Bandito and Rush are in the other bracket. He will face the winner of who the fuck else is in this tournament? Okay, hold on. Let me figure out. Bandito and Rush, Brian Cage and Dante Martin. Who else was in this tournament? Jay Lethal was not in this tournament. I know that. Oh, no. Bryan Danielson and Sammy Guevara was not in the tournament. Who the fuck else is in this tournament? It's escaped my mind. It'll come back to me. All right. Wrestling for Ethan Page versus Eddie Kingston, I'll give it a 6. And Logic, I'll give it a 6. Ethan Page won a match. Great. And I don't think Ethan Page needed Stokely Hathaway to win him a match. That's ridiculous. All right. Backstage. This was the worst segment on this entire show. Rush wants to talk to the Dark Order. He wants to talk to Preston Vance, a.k.a. 10. When Rush wins the AEW World Championship, he will give 10 the first title shot. First of all, Rush, I like your character. I like you as a person, as a man. But Rush, I'm going to let you know something right now. You is not winning the AEW World Championship. Cut it out right now. Cut the shit. Speaking of cut the shit, Jade Cargill was on fucking TV. I'm going to go over her segment very briefly. Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose for Full Gear. Why? Terrible. Jade Cargill then says she wants her match. She wants Nyla Rose at Rampage, which I am not reviewing Rampage. Piece of shit Rampage, by the way, looking. Rampage is looking like fucking garbage. Anyway, on to the 10 segment, once again. Pardon me. Roosh and 10 segment. Roosh goes face to face. He tells 10 to think this over because Roosh doesn't give second opportunities. John Silver calls him Roosh Bag. That was so corny. That was the most corniest thing I've heard all night. We're in the ring, and Ariya Daivari wants a shot at the TNT title in exchange of his butler service. VSK is Ariya Daivari's butler. First of all, I'm going to point this out very quickly before I go into the next match. Ariya Daivari wants a shot at the TNT Championship. May I please ask, for the 1,498th time, what the fuck has Ariya Daivari done to get a TNT Championship match? What the fuck has he done? Not a goddamn thing. Why was this a match? Why was this a segment? Why did Wardlow come out right after that? Wardlow should have not came out after that. This match went 2 minutes. Ariya Daivari, get off my TV. No rating. Powerhouse Hobbs. Wardlow calls out Powerhouse Hobbs. They're doing this on his time. Wardlow says he has a suitable opponent finally, and he thanks Powerhouse Hobbs for coming out face to face like a man. Powerhouse Hobbs says he ain't getting this title. It's his. It will always be his. In fact, he'll take every title in this company. Samoa Joe's behind Wardlow with the title. He hits Wardlow from behind with the Ring of Honor title. Joe with a Koki in a clutch. Wardlow is put to sleep. Hobbs tells Joe he'll kick his ass too. So Ward Joe is no more. I asked this last week. Why the fuck was Wardlow and Samoa Joe a fucking tag team? Turns out Tony Khan listened to this podcast and finally realized that Wardlow and Samoa Joe should not be a fucking tag team. Thank you. Jay confirms the match against Nyla in Full Gear by repeating herself. We don't care. Tony Schiavone in the ring. He introduces Britt Baker, Saraya. This was one of the better segments on this show. Saraya talks first, and that we have all been wondering if she is cleared. A few weeks ago, she did some x-rays and MRIs, and she is 100% clear. Yes, you heard that right. Saraya is cleared to wrestle and has been cleared by every doctor she has ever known. Saraya is finally cleared to wrestle after 6 years of not wrestling. Actually, 7 years of not wrestling on any wrestling promotion. She is finally cleared. Thank God she is cleared. Thank you. Unfortunately, I don't care about this match. Because this match, to many people's eyes, is way more important than the TBS Championship match. Way more important than Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, which still did not get any fucking build heading into this show. No build. None. And if anyone wants to remind me or explain to me where is the build for Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter, let me remind you all, Sky Blue was in the semi-main event tonight against Jamie Hayter. Sky Blue. I like Sky Blue, but she should be nowhere near a semi-main event spot. Stop fucking doing this. I'm not saying women should not be in the semi-main event of any show. I'm saying in the spirit of everything. Why was Sky Blue in the semi-main event of this show? Why? What the fuck has she done to be in this spot? Nothing. Only team up with fucking Madison Rayne, who's only been here for 2 months and already has become irrelevant. Sky Blue was supposed to be one of the more interesting prospects in AEW in that entire women's locker room, and now all of a sudden she's being put with Jamie Hayter, where she was going to fucking lose anyway. Tony Khan. Why? Just fucking why? Fucking ridiculous. Saraya says AEW is my house. Britt Baker calls us all fickle. Britt Baker, you attacked another man on his own opinion, and you calling us all fickle. Britt Baker, what are you smoking backstage? I don't know if you're smoking crack. I don't know if you're smoking weed backstage. But whatever you're smoking backstage, get the fuck off TV. She says that we aren't clear. Why has Saraya been coming after Britt since day one? Saraya wants to make a name for herself, and the best way to do that is to go up against Britt Baker. That's why. Don't ask us. Don't ask the fans. Don't ask us why. We know why. Britt built AEW from the ground up. No, you have not. No, you have not. They were way better other women than you that were in AEW. Way better women. You may be homegrown. You may have been homegrown, but you didn't build AEW from the ground up. Until it became a fortress that superstars like Saraya wanted to move to, and she's proud of it. But that pride, yes, I wish the tide has been turned on this, should turn on this fucking feud. I'm fucking stuttering over here. That pride turned into resentment really quickly when Saraya has the audacity to skip in here and call it her house. It's funny she doesn't recall Saraya laying a single brick. She finally gets it. She knows why Saraya is obsessed with Britt. Britt is everything Saraya wishes she could have been. Britt Baker, nobody wants to be like your bitch ass. Get off TV. I've said this for the 9th time tonight. Let's not forget that Saraya left her house and walked into her. And we don't take walk-ins, so make an appointment, bitch. Bitch was said 3 times tonight. Why? Don't know. Britt put herself on a pedestal. Ridiculous. Considering her position was handed to her by Tony Khan, was fed a bunch of trainings by QT Marshall. Soraya says Britt doesn't know what it takes to be a superstar. She traveled up and down the United Kingdom for free because she loved the business. She was hit by a car and wrestled the same day because she loved the business. Britt doesn't know what it takes to make it. She started Resolution before they were a trend and before wrestling was even a twinkle in Britt Baker's eye. Yes, Britt Baker was a dentist before she even thought of AEW. She has done Madison Square Garden, the O2 Arena in London, and the Tokyo Dome, and now she is in front of an ungrateful bitch. She's been humiliated, battled her drug addiction publicly. She has given her career and her neck for this business. Britt doesn't have a clue what it takes to make it, but here's another opportunity for her on a silver platter. This will be Saraya's comeback story and Britt biggest match of her career, Saraya versus Britt Baker at Full Gear. Saraya had the best promo on this entire show. Actually, the second best promo on this entire show. I liked MJF's promo as well. Britt attacks her, but Saraya reverses and hits her finisher. I don't know what the fuck her finisher was. Was it the Rampage finisher? Or the, it was one of those 2 finishers. But anyway, we are backstage, and Lethal and company are paying QT Marshall for no reason. Danhausen, OC, and the best friends walk up to point. Why? I don't know. Orange tells... What the fuck? Huh? Who the hell is Lee? Lee Johnson. I'm sorry. Orange tells Lee Johnson not to hit his friend. QT says the faction would like to fight in the ring, so how about this Friday? Lee Johnson versus Orange Cassidy for the All-Atlantic Championship. What the fuck has Lee Johnson done to get a title shot? I've asked this 3 times now. Trent calls Lethal and Sanjay Dutt scumbags. He wants to fight Trent Beretta versus Jay Lethal tonight. And it's next. Trent makes his entrance. Jay Lethal beats the shit out of him. Rev yells at Lethal to stop. He stops the ankle and then hits a right on Trent. Trent chops Lethal, hits a right knee from Jay, and he shoves Trent into the steps, knee first. The bell rings. Trent beats the shit out of Jay Lethal against the ropes. Lethal kicks the knee hard. He kicks the back of the knee. Jay drops the leg onto his leg and hits another dragon screw. Finally, Danhausen and Chuck Taylor, who is still employed, come down to help out Trent. We go to break. We are back. Trent hits a German. Half and half suplex. He corners Jay Lethal. He tries for a DDT. Jay escapes. Trent sends him into the turnbuckle, and then after that, Trent hits a tornado DDT to Jay, 2 count. Jay kicks the knee to the second rope. Trent then attacks the back of Jay Lethal. Jay sits down on the top rope, hits some elbows to the climbing Trent. Trent then clubs the back and a half suplex off the top rope, which, by the way, looked fucking amazing. Running knee strike from Trent Beretta. He grabs Jay's head. He tries for the strong zero, which is the he used to call it the Dude Buster, but it's the strong zero. Sanjay Dutt's on the apron. Danhausen's up there. Satnam Singh hops up. Yes, Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt are on fucking TV. He hops up. He headbutts Danhausen. Trent kicks him off. Jay kicks the knee to the shoulders. And lethal injection, 1, 2, 3. This was actually a good match. I'll give Rasslin a 6 and Logic, I'll give it a 6. This was actually good. Unfortunately, Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt are still fucking employed and ruined the entire logic of the match. Sanjay Dutt on the mic, he introduces Jeff Jarrett, who was on fucking TV. He comes out with his guitar. Yes, that's right. After over 1 million views of his debut, Jeff Jarrett, last week, he got 1 million views. It's apparent. Jeff Jarrett tells us why he is in AEW. When a friend calls, a friend shows up. He showed up to help and put a plan together. And how did he connect? And how did these 4 all connect? Jay Lethal, Jeff signed him to his first contract in TNA. He beat Ric Flair, Sting, a Grand Slam champion. Sanjay has an IQ of 181. I don't give a fuck what the fuck Sanjay Dutt's IQ is. Get this man off fucking television. He has no value to the AEW roster. Get him off TV. Satnam Singh is a giant. He tells the cameraman to slow pan to Satnam Singh. This is not some red-nosed monster who wears skinny jeans and is produced by a banana-nosed circus. And Singh is the only player in the history of the NBA to be born and bred in India. He never played 1 game in the NBA. Can you all please shut the fuck up about Satnam Singh playing in the NBA? He ain't played 1 motherfucking game in the NBA. Find me 1 game where Satnam Singh scored 10 points. Find me 1 game in the NBA. Find me 1. I dare you. I quadruple dare you people. I dare you. He calls out Darby Allin and Sting, promising body bags. Jeff tries to grab the crew member, chases him up the ramp. Actually, down the ramp, pardon me. But Sanjay Dutt stops him. Backstage, Renee Paquette with Jungle Boy. He says the last he heard, Cage was done with him, but he doesn't get to decide when this is over. Renee asks about Full Gear. Jungle Boy has a challenge, but he wants to do this on Rampage on Friday. I'm not watching Rampage. John Moxley is here with William Regal. John wonders how old was he when him and Regal first met, 25, 26. William Regal does not remind him what age he was. So we all know that John Moxley is getting old. Back then he was young and full of piss and vinegar. He thought he had it all figured out. He loved to talk trash. He wanted to be like Regal. He wanted to be a real top guy. So to prove it, he tried to fight Regal. That did not go well. Regal tortured John, brutalized him, kicked the fucking piss out of him, and it pissed him off because he found out where he was in the food chain. So he trained harder and came back to fight Regal. He knocked him out and ripped his ear off. Regal told him then, and now the real work begins. Who does that remind you of, Regal? Who does that kid remind you of, Regal? MJF, of course. So well over a year ago, MJF challenged him, thought he had all figured out, thought it was his time, so Moxley sent him home and let him know where he stood. By the way, he's referencing Full Gear 2020. That's what he's referencing. He's referencing Full Gear 2020. By the way, a miserable pay-per-view in the grand scheme of things. Terrible show. Except Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin in that match. They had a great match. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by bullshit. So, months later, he's back for another shot. Who is MJF? We know the MJF that he shows to the world. He dresses nice with clothes. His mom bought him a JCPenney. He talks the talk of a world champion, but Moxley actually is a champion with money, so you can't fool him. MJF calls himself a pinner, but even though he holds no weight on his back, he calls himself the devil. John Moxley and William Regal laugh so hard. I died too as well. I laughed so bad. MJF is not a devil. John tells MJF directly he's seen the devil. He has met the devil. He's looked into his eyes. He has met some very bad people in bad places and see bad people do bad things. Oh, by the way, before I go on into the rest of the segment. Jay Lethal versus Trent Beretta. Oh, yeah, I gave it a 6 and Logic a 6. Okay. All right. Moving on. Sorry, I wanted to make sure. Jon Moxley wants MJF as Regal wants him to fulfill the potential he has. They are teachers. He wants to know what MJF has in his guts. When MJF steps into the ring in his hometown, remember one thing. Everything you've done up to this point has been easy. First of all, Jon Moxley, your hometown is Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, hold on. Moxley has Cincinnati, Ohio as his hometown. And he also has Newark, New Jersey in his hometown. Oh, wait. MJF is in his hometown. It's in Long Island. I forgot. Or something like that. It's around the tri-state area of New York. It's one of those two places. Don't come at me. Whatever. Anyway, Jon Moxley says, remember one thing. Everything you've done up to this point has been easy. We get a video package for the Elite, seemingly turning back time and ending with a graphic of them as if they'll be looking to come back at Full Gear. Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter. All you need to know, Jamie Hayter with the Ripcord Lariat, 1, 2, 3. By the way, Aubrey Edwards was the referee. And Sky Blue actually had a good showing for a change. Sky Blue hit a super kick. She hit a code red. She did a crossbody off the top. Sky Blue looked very impressive in this match. Unfortunately, no one cared because Sky Blue should have not been in the semi-main event. Let's be honest. I'll give Rasslin for this match. Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter, I'll give it a 4.5. And Logic, I'll give it a 6 because Jamie Hayter needed a win. And she won the match. And that's good enough for me. Why was this the semi-main event? I don't know. Tony Storm is there to make the save. By the way, this match went 6.5 minutes. So Sky Blue, Jamie Hayter, as I said, Rasslin 4.5, and Logic a 6. Brian Cage gets a mini promo for his match against Dante Martin this Friday. Brian Cage, I hope you beat the fucking piss out of Dante Martin because Dante Martin has done nothing to get an AEW World Title Eliminator match. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. I don't know. Alex Marvez tried to get an interview with Ricky Starks, but Archer has Starks by the head. He tosses Starks into a garage door, and he tells Marvez that everyone dies. Oh, by the way, Ricky Starks and Lance Archer is in the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. Thank you. Thank you guys for reminding me about that. All right, so here's the bracket for the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament, Full Gear Tournament, whatever. Bandito and Roosh and Brian Cage and Dante Martin on one side. Ricky Starks, Lance Archer, and Ethan Page, who advanced earlier tonight against Eddie Kingston. That's the whole bracket. I will keep you all up to date with the bracket as the weeks go on. Main event time. Best match on the show. Easily best match on the show. Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara. Fantastic match. But I don't... Listen, this match went 20 minutes, man. All you need to know, this was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara. Best match on the entire show. I like their match. I like this match a lot better than their match last week. Last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was last week. Unfortunately. No. It was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. It wasn't last week. Sorry. It was 2 weeks ago. But Bryan Danielson, Sammy Guevara, best match on the entire show. This match went 20 minutes. Bryan Danielson won the first fall because Sammy Guevara tossed a fucking chair at Bryan Danielson and it hit his head and everything. Sammy then grabs the mic from the timekeeper's area. He jams the mic into Bryan Danielson's eye. Jesus Christ. Sammy on the mic. He beats Bryan down. All this in front of the ref. Not a DQ. Actually, it was a DQ. I apologize. And we're back, and Bryan Danielson is bleeding. Sammy is standing tall. Bryan hits the right hand. GTH from Sammy Guevara, 1, 2, 3, and we immediately get the second fall. Sammy allows the ref to check on Bryan Danielson. He wants to keep going. Ref allows it. Bryan Danielson's up to his feet. Bryan shoves him. Sammy flips back. He hops up. Bryan elbows the back, and he has the headbutt to Sammy. Bryan flies off the top of him. He misses the headbutt. Sammy with the cross face. Bryan reaches up in the air. He grabs the fingers, turns a bit into a hold. He stands and he lifts Sammy up in the air. But Sammy Guevara bites Bryan Danielson on the forehead, drops him back down. Bryan grabs a hand, he turns against the hold, but Bryan's nose is bleeding. Jesus Christ. Bryan reaches for the ropes, referee hits 4, and Sammy breaks it up. Sammy extends, corners Bryan, and forearms to the face. Bryan reverses, kicks in the corner, headbutt over and over again. Bryan Danielson beat the fucking piss out of Sammy Guevara in this match. And this match was fucking fantastic. If you guys have not seen this match, go watch this match. Please watch this match. In its entirety, this match was fucking fantastic. This was great. Turns midair right into a knee. We come back just to see Ty Mello ejected from ringside. Ty Mello, who is still employed, get the fuck off TV. Bryan Danielson and Sammy Guevara on their knees. Bryan is leaking blood from over the eye. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Bryan hangs Sammy into the trio. Well, he kicks the hell out of him. And with the whatever chance, I don't care about the chance anymore. I like Bryan Danielson just kicking the hell out of people. He don't need chance. Running dive and drop kick to Sammy Guevara. Bryan lifts Sammy Guevara to the top rope. And Bryan Danielson's on top rope. Sammy Guevara slips off. He hits the apron. A running knee to Bryan Danielson. He falls to the outside. Sammy to the top rope. Shooting star press. Sammy sends Bryan into the ring. Oh, shooting star press on the outside to Bryan Danielson. Then he puts Bryan Danielson back in the ring. He heads to the top. Springboards off the rope. Goes for a cutter, but Bryan Danielson counters into the label lock. Sammy with a rope break. Bryan with a kick to the chest, and then another, goes for a running kick. Sammy with a knee, goes for the GTH, but Bryan lands on his feet. Poison Rana by Bryan Danielson. Bryan with the psycho knee. Sammy holds on. Walls of Jericho from Sammy Guevara. Lion Tamer, he turns that around. Sammy with the knee to the back of the head. Bryan slithers his way to the bottom rope. He gets the break, and the crowd is electric, by the way. Sammy lets go. He kicks Sammy in the head. No, Sammy kicks Bryan Danielson in the head. Boot to the face. Sammy sets up for the GTH again. Bryan lands on his feet again. Psycho knee to Sammy. Bryan wants to kick his fucking head in. Bryan grabs the ropes. Bryan grabs his hands while Sammy is on the ropes. Sammy pushes Bryan up with the kicks to the ropes. Sammy then gets up. Bryan Danielson does the curb stomp thing. With the, he holds your hand and he fucking kicks your fucking, kicks your face in. Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving on. I'm speaking a little bit too fast, but at the end of the day, I can't really describe this match all in any kind of perfect detail. So I apologize. Sammy hits a standing moonsault into a DDT to Bryan Danielson. Sammy goes for a senton. Bryan Danielson with the knees up. Crucifix. Elbows to the head and the chest over and over and over and over and over again. Jesus Christ, Bryan Danielson beat the shit out of Sammy Guevara in this last sequence. And then he finally puts the bell lock in. Sammy reaches for the ropes. Bryan grabs the reaching arm. He pulls it back. And Sammy Guevara, no choice. He taps out. This match went 20 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, Rasslin 9, Logic 8. Best match on this entire show. By leaps and bounds. This was fucking fantastic. Great show. Better than last week's piece of shit show. Boston, y'all were great tonight. The crowd was alive for this match. And I'll give Rasslin, as I said, a 9 and Logic an 8 for that match for the main event. Alright, I'm going to review AEW Dynamite, quick recap of everything. Alright. 8-man tag, I gave Logic a 7 and Logic a 6 for that match. That was actually the second best match on this show. A lot of good wrestling on this show, by the way. But I'm all for it. Ethan Page versus Eddie Kingston, I gave Rasslin a 6 and Logic a 6 because Ethan Page won that match. But I don't think he needed Stokely Hathaway to win a fucking match for him. So that was that match. Wardlow, Ariya Daivari, match went 2 minutes, no rating. 0-0. Trent Beretta versus Jay Lethal. I gave Rasslin for that match a 6. And Logic, I gave it did I give it a 6 or a 5? I'll change my rating. Trent Beretta versus Jay Lethal. Rasslin 6, Logic a 5. Sky Blue versus Jamie Hayter. I gave that a 4.5 and Logic a 6 because Jamie Hayter was going to win that match anyway, which I'm all for it, and I'm glad she won. And finally, the main event, Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara, 2 out of 3 falls. Match was fucking fantastic. 9 Rasslin and Logic, and 8 everything made sense. This was a way better match than they had 2 weeks ago. If Bryan Danielson and Sammy Guevara ever have a match for, let's say, the All-Atlantic Championship, Bryan Danielson would make Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia look like $1 million. Thank God for Bryan Danielson. And alright, everybody, that's AEW Dynamite. Hope you all enjoyed this Monday Night Raw and AEW Dynamite review. I'm not reviewing SmackDown or Rampage under no shape or form. I may review it next week, but only time will tell. We'll see you all Friday for the Crown Jewel review. Me, Carlo, and Sucker will be on that review. I can't confirm that right now. So look out for Crown Jewel. And by the way, Crown Jewel was 4.5 hours. People believe it was 3 hours. No, it was 4 hours and a half long. Why? I don't know. But anyway, everybody, see you all for the Crown Jewel review. Until then, I'm Ben Charles. So long, everybody.